Hi, you guys. Don't mind that I am in my 80s ski suit while I'm doing this video for you, but it just happened to land on the day where that's how I'm dressed. So before you do a retake of your test, there are a few things that you need to do. The first thing is you need to watch this video. You need to fill out every single step that I am showing you on your notes. And then after you have done that for each of these 4 problems, the next thing I need you to do is you're going to do the slope-intercept form retake extra practice in Alex. And you need to make sure that you show every single step for every single problem on a piece of paper. You're going to then turn that into me. And then the last thing that you need to do is you need to go to your Alex test. You need to pull up your report and you need to figure out what you did wrong on each question, and you need to write that on another piece of paper, and then I will give you a quick retake. Okay, so those are the steps for being able to do a retake. Here is the first type of question you're going to see on your retake extra practice. This is just like one of the equations that was on this is just like one of the questions that was on your test. Okay, so it says, write an equation in slope-intercept form for the line with a y-intercept of 8 and a slope of -2/3. So whenever we're going to write an equation in slope-intercept form, we have to use slope-intercept form. And in this form, the b, that is the y-intercept. That is where the line crosses the y-axis at. It's the y-intercept. And then the m, that is your rate of change. That is your slope. Okay? So if you're writing an equation in slope-intercept form, you write the equation just like it is, but you replace the m with whatever they tell you the slope is, and you replace the b with whatever you are told the y-intercept is, and then that is your equation. Okay? So anytime you want to write an equation of a line, you always use slope-intercept form. So the 2 things that you need when you write an equation of a line are a slope and a y-intercept. Now, in this particular situation, it says a line passes through the point -10, 8, and has a slope of -5/2. So if the line passes through the point -10, 8, that means the x of the point is -10 and the y is 8. And they told us that we have a slope of -5/2. So we have the m. What we don't have is the b. So we're going to take the information they gave us. We're going to substitute the information from this point in for the y and the x in the equation, and we're going to replace the m with the slope, and now we are going to solve for the b, meaning that we need to get the b by itself. So -5/2 times -10 is 50/2, which is 25. So 25 plus b is equal to 8. And then we want to minus 25 from both sides. And then 8 minus 25 is 17. -17. Okay? So now we have a slope, right? We have a slope, and we have a y-intercept. So now we take our slope-intercept form, we write it just like it is, except for instead of the m, we're going to plug in our slope, and instead of the b, we are going to plug in our y-intercept. Okay. Next type of question that you need to do some practice on is writing an equation of a line. And in order to write an equation of a line, remember you always use slope-intercept form. So you need to find the slope and the y-intercept. Sometimes when you look at the graph of a line, you can see exactly where the y-intercept is. Like in this case, we can see that this line is crossing the y-axis at -3. So instead of our b, we automatically know that our slope is, or our y-intercept is -3. Now the other thing we need to do is we need to find a slope. Remember I told you that you always count slope working left to right. So to get from this point to the other point, I'm having to move down and then to the right. So from 5 to -3, that is down 8. And then from -2 to 0, that is to the right 2. So my slope is -8 over 2, which is -4. Okay, so now I can fill in -4 for the m, and now I have an equation. Okay, now another way you could find slope, if you are having a really hard time counting the slope, just write the coordinates of these points. So we have -2, 5, and we have 0, -3, and then use your slope formula. So -3 minus 5 over 0 minus -2 gives us -8 over 2, which is -4. So that's another way you can find slope from a graph. Okay, and then the last example includes writing an equation for a line when you have been given 2 points. Now the two things you need if you're going to write an equation of a line is you need a slope and you need a y-intercept. So first thing we're going to do is take these 2 points and we are going to find the slope. Okay, so 3 minus 1 over 2 minus -4 is 2 over +6, which simplifies to 1/3. Okay, so that's my slope. Now I have my m, but I still need a b. So in order to find a b, I'm going to pick one of these points. It doesn't matter which one, so I'm just going to use this one. And I'm going to use this slope, and I'm going to substitute this information in to slope-intercept form and then solve for b. So instead of the y, I'm going to plug in a 3. Instead of the m, I'm going to plug in a 1/3. Instead of the x, I'm going to plug in a 2, and then I have my plus b. So this is 2/3 plus b equals 3. Then we are going to minus 2/3 from both sides. So 3 minus 2/3 is 2 1/3. So 7/3 is my b. If I want to write it as 2 1/3 or 7/3. So now my equation will be y equals 1/3 x plus 7/3. Okay, so that's your video. Let me make a list of the things that you need to do. Okay, so first thing you need to do is you are going to make sure that you have all of the notes from this video written down. You're going to have to show me that. The second thing you need to do is, now that you've taken these notes, you need to do the slope-intercept retake extra practice. Okay, slope-intercept form, test retake extra practice. Slope-intercept form, test retake extra practice. That's what it's called. Okay, you have to make sure that you show all of your work. Okay, the third thing you need to do is you need to look at your Alex report for your test, and you need to write down what you missed and why. Okay, and then the last thing you're going to do is I will set you up with a quick retake, and I am the one that will put in that password for you. Okay? Okay.